Okay, so here we're identifying functions from relations. We want to decide if it's a function or not a function. We have the domain and the range, and if we remember if it's a function, we can look, if it graphically, we can look to see if it passes a vertical line test. If we have things like this, we have to check to make sure that all of the figures in the domain, whether they're numerical values or variables, that they match up with only one corresponding y value or one part in the range. So if we look here, we see 9, 4, 1, -9, and -1. We see that there's no repeats here. So there's no repeats in the domain, and each of them are going to exactly one place. So -1 is matched up with only -9, -9 only to +9. The 1 is only matched up to 1, 4 is only matched up to -9, and 9 is only matched up to 4. So it is a function. Now, even though that we have -9 receiving two or corresponding with two values in the domain, it's still a function, and that's okay. We can have values here in the domain that have the same corresponding range value. That just means it's not a one-to-one function where the inverse would also be a function. However, it's still a function. Though it's not a one-to-one function, it is a function, meaning that each of these they're not repeated, and they're going to exactly 1 in the range. So we look over here, same situation. We see that RD and T all go and match up with T in the range, but that's okay because they're going to exactly 1. T is matched up with T. No other values in the range. W is only to M, R is only to T, and D is only to T. So there's no repeats here. They're all going to exactly 1 in the range. It is a function. Now we look at it here in this notation here. We see as kind of our XY coordinates. So regardless of what we're seeing here as the value for x and the value for y, we see a variable here. We just need to make sure that our x's, that there's no repeats with different corresponding y values. So we have a -2, we have a -1, -1, and -8. So we see that we have a repeat here. Oh, my marker's running out. We have a repeat here of -1. Okay, so then we have to check to see if the corresponding y values are different, t and b. So because they are, because we have -1 going to both t and -1 both going to b, this is not a function, because our domain, our x values, can only be corresponding with one y value. And we see the same thing over here. We have a repeat of 4 and 4 with different corresponding y values in the range n and y, so this is not a function. Oh, and I marked the wrong one. That's not right. It is not a function.